Well, it's all over but the shooting, and this is what we're shooting. Hello, my name is Nate Jackson. I have just read all the 50 Shades trilogy. Now I can die happy. You see me smiling. So, what can you say about 50 Shades of Grey, and 50 Shades Darker, and 50 Shades Freed? Well, quite a lot, but I'm gonna try to summarize the main points. And I, of course, don't do outlines when I do these. I just talk off the top of my head, so this will ramble a bit, but try to follow along. Yes, the book is as bad as you think it is. All three books are as bad as you believe them to be. E.L. James, being a British author, for one, has a very awkward way of writing in an American sense, if you understand what I'm saying. There were terms that I felt applied more to Britain, such as in the first book, she mentions waiting for the green man to appear when crossing the street. Now, I don't know too much about crossing the street. I know enough to cross the street, but I know that most of the time the man is white. I don't remember the last time I saw a green man. I mean, there's the orange hand, but the man who's walking is white. Assuming the green man applies more to England. So yeah, there was quite a bit more of that in the first book than there was later ones. And if there was in the later ones, I wasn't paying attention because I was trying to get through this shit. But yeah, let's talk about the characters. First, of course, we have to talk about Anastasia. Anastasia is quite possibly the most confused 22-year-old that ever lived the face of this earth. She has no idea what she wants. She has no idea how she's going to get it. And it is apparently this bizarre little moment in her life where things switch. Catherine, our friend Kate, was supposed to go into that interview, but Anna went. And if she hadn't have gone, we wouldn't be reading this book. It would be 3 fucking books. I feel like a lot of Anna's thoughts are written as if her brain just didn't develop at some point. Like when she turned 17, her body kept growing. Her body just kept growing and growing and growing. But she just kind of, she was still in her senior year of high school. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, with all the inner goddess stuff and subconscious, inner goddess flipping and stuff, subconscious constantly looking over her glasses and the brims. Like, fuck that shit. That shit got annoying. Well, the whole, of course. I mean, more than anything, that book got annoying. That part of the book got annoying. No, I'm not going to trim out me drinking cranberry juice because shit, I need a drink after this. What else can we talk about? Like I said, no outline, so I'm just trying to go through memory here. Her choices, she's a horrible, horrible, horrible choices. I mean, of course, marrying him after so long, after what, only like the span of 6 months, I think, do they get married. And the whole thing about her being a virgin, I think, is a fault, a huge fault in her demise, you know? Because honestly, I didn't know these characters at the beginning. I thought, well, she's just a girl, and they're gonna be evenly matched, But then she reveals that she's a virgin, and Christian's, of course, upset with this. And he has to break her in. And sadly, it becomes an addiction. Sex becomes an addiction to her. And because of that, she is horrendously flawed because she has this addiction. So much that by the end of the book, she wants to have sex and she's friggin' pregnant. So much that she even they go to the playroom. The last couple of last actual chapter and ends with them in the playroom and she's friggin' pregnant. Oh my god, sex will destroy people. I swear. Gotta stop having sex, people. You can't do it. If you're gonna have sex, you gotta be intelligent. And Anastasia Steele is not an intelligent human being. Thank you very much. I mean, she's so timid. She's very timid, so that when she finally figures out what living with Christian is about, and starts to take charge, quote unquote charge, like when she works at the SIP, it's embarrassing. It's very, very embarrassing. She is like, yeah, okay, Anna, sit down. Yeah, okay. So, I know I'll think of something else, but let's move on to Christian, because I have other things to talk about the plot. Yeah. Now, Christian, in a number of ways, is very much like me. Go ahead and laugh. Go ahead and laugh if you want to. Go right ahead. I'll give you time. Ha 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 ha. And between you and me, I felt like we connected the most when they were having sex. And that's not a homosexual reference or anything like that. It's a reference to his style. He said with a almost Morse Day face on. Yes, I'm gonna reveal a little bit here. The things I read, I'm like, hey, well, that doesn't sound too bad. Yeah, I'd do that. I could do that. Oh, hey, right on. Okay, oh, yeah. All right, Christian. Okay, I see what you're doing going from there. Except when they go in the playroom and the flogging, and it's like, I ain't in all that. I'm not about to beat my woman, even if she wants to be beat. Well, she wanted to. Maybe I'd get into it, but honestly, the S&M thing is just. It doesn't, that's another thing. The S&M theme, it really, by the third chapter, it's like the third book, there's barely anything in it. It's all about sex and, more sex and sex. It's pretty sad because by the third book, the sex scenes, I was just flipped through them. You probably know that, which made the reading of this book a lot faster. So back to Christian. Yeah, Christian, like I would read it. Sometimes I read his lines out loud because I liked, acting his parts, and I liked, giving him this kind of like Prince. Oh, yeah, just but then when he gets angry, I do my 1920s mustache villain. What? Miss Steele? You cannot have this baby now. Oh dear. So yeah, Christian, I sympathized with Christian for a while, but by the third book, I was annoyed by everybody so much I just couldn't get into anybody except for Kate. I always liked Kate because Kate was kind of this brashy, classy kind of girl, and I like the name Kate too. I've met a lot of people named Kate, and they're really cool people. Until she falls for Elliot, and then she kind of just disappears for the rest of the book. The last half of the book, which is kind of like what the fuck. So yeah, excuse me. Burping out the excess disgust in my mouth. Okay, we got about 10 minutes left to talk about this. So, essentially, Christian is, of course Christian's flawed, but of course he has backstory. He has this whole thing about his birth mother and all that believable shit. Shit, but believable shit. And there's a lot about, his past things with his submissives and this whole games he plays with his dominance and blah 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 blah. And the quote unquote bitch troll. I hate that term. It's such a horrible term. I mean, yeah, she was kind of a bitch, but bitch troll is just kind of annoying. But we'll get to nicknames in a second. Well, actually, we'll get to nicknames now. First of all, Blip. Why the fuck did she keep calling that baby little Blip? I swear. They kept calling, I think one of my tweets was, my posts was, they kept calling her, if they actually called him Blip, I will go back to kindergarten, find out where that kid goes to school, punch him dead in the mouth. I don't mind punching a kid dead in the mouth if his name is Blip. Oh no. Hell, I'm tempted to do it because they named the fucker Ted. After the Family Guy movie. I know she did. It was written a couple of years before it, and yep, I knew she knew that it was coming out. She knew that she wanted to piss off her readers even more. So she decided to write him as Ted. Bada bing. Oh gosh. But yeah. So plot. What little plot there is. So the whole thing about, Jack Hyde. I was hoping somebody would die. I was hoping somebody would die and there would be a kind of bittersweet ending at the end, The first one is pathetic. The ending of the first one is just so pathetic with the whole crying herself to sleep, after she freaks out and calls him a bastard for hurting her when she fucking asked for it. It's like, she doesn't know what she's getting into, and yet she asked for this shit. It's another flaw of Anastasia. So, yeah, that part, the end of that book was such a tease to get you to read the next one. And of course, at the end of that one, they talk about Jack Hyde coming back out of the crash and all that. So, of course, you have to read the one after that to find out what the hell happens with Jack. And I wish Jack had killed somebody. Anna or Christian would have been great stuff. But no, he gets caught and all that shit. What are you gonna do? Well, that's fair. So, try and sum up my last couple of points here. Overall, the series is very, very flawed. Actually, just before this, I was reading the Wikipedia page because I've been dying to read the Wikipedia page, but I felt like it was going to give something away. But if you go onto the Wikipedia page, you know what the best thing about the Wikipedia page is? There's only a page for the first book. No one's bothered to do a page for the second or third. I thought that was kind of nice. Of course, then you find out that they're planning on doing a film adaptation, which, oh, that'll be fun. I will go to see it. If any of you guys want to go, if the film comes out, we're gonna go see it, friends. We're gonna go see it, and we're gonna laugh our asses off. We're gonna make noise. We're gonna throw streamers. We're gonna get ourselves banned from a movie theater. Yes, we will. And we're going to find out how many people pull a Paul Rubens. Because there will be guys there pulling Paul Rubens. Anyway. So, the series in general. I read this book because I wanted to know how bad it was. I read all the books because I wanted to know how bad they were. My final verdict is they are, without a doubt, 3 of the worst books I've ever read in my entire life. And I haven't read a lot of books, but I know shit when I read it. And these books are shit. They're horrible. I read these too to spare you of any thoughts about reading these books. So, you may have been annoyed by my posts, but just know that I was trying to steer you clear because I felt like I was brave enough. And somehow I made it through. Somehow I did. Somehow I'm sitting here doing this video for you because I made it through all 1,750 pages of the books. I'm still here. A little broken, but still here. Other thing, I mean, I could talk about so many points about this book, but I feel like I've already talked, I've already said everything I need to say, or the other parts, in the posts I've did. So if you haven't read my posts, scan the timeline on Facebook, or if you're on my Twitter, look up the hashtags Nate Reads 50 Shades, 50 Shades 2, 50 Shades 3, look them all up on my thing, and you can read for yourself what I have to say about that. I don't feel like I was going to plan on repeating some of them for you here, but I just don't feel like, it's be repetitive. I want to end this. Let's say that I want to end this. I want to come back. If I come back to this, it will be in such a way that it will be just a way that how this book is going to haunt me for the rest of my life. Actually, I do have something planned for this book a little bit later in the year. I'll do a special video about 50 Shades of Grey later in the year, but not right now. It'll be like probably November, December. So watch for it. But yes, the book is bad, and I feel like by the third book, the main problem I had with this book is that life doesn't happen like this. Life doesn't. E.L. James was apparently writing as realistically as possible, but life doesn't happen like this. People aren't that fucked up. They aren't. Especially people living in Washington. Seattle, Washington is not that fucked up. I mean, apparently James thinks it is. Whatever. So yeah, it was just so unreal that the book just really that's what dug a hole for me. The book was unreal. It was disgusting. It was just disgustingly fictional. Not just the sex scenes, which by the way were not a turn on for me in any way. I never got turned on by sex scenes. Never. Not one got me interested. I read the first couple because I thought, okay, maybe there's some plot built into them. But by the third book, like I said, skip them. So yeah, very fake. Life doesn't happen like this, and if you think it does, you're fucking wrong. And yeah, basically by the third book, I finally figured out how it was a Twilight fan fiction. That's the basic idea. I've never read Master of the Universe or the Princess Ice Queen Snow Dragon or whatever it's called. But I mean, like, I'd like to maybe skim a couple pages to see if there's similarities, but honestly, we'll see what we can do. But anyway, I'm up to almost 20 minutes now, so wrap it up. Review 1 out of 5. It is as bad as people say. Don't read it unless if you have already read it, now you know. You know more than I do. I know there are a number of people who have read these books and have commented on it. My friend Jessica has read it. My sister has read it. And, we had a couple of discussions how it's just stupid books to kill time and all that. And we had a laugh about that. And I also want to thank. I'll just go and give a shout out to my friends who have commented on my posts. People who have met me in person. My friends who have said in person, "Oh, I love reading your 50 Shades things." Yeah. And so I thank Kathy's mom Mary, who's talking about them, and my friend Crystal, Steven's wife, my friend Yang, who's hopefully watching this, and if this is, what's up, Yang? I think Christine, my friend Christine, of course Jessica I mentioned, friend Dan. I think Dan commented. I'll probably tag him in this, so he can skim through this. What's up, Dan? How's Australia? He said with the worst Australian accent ever. Well, actually, they're probably worse. Don't quote me. And yeah, anybody else who's liked this or put up with me or hasn't death threatened me over my posts, thanks for not death threatening me. You will not see me do a project like this of some extent for a while. I don't know. We'll see what happens. If I do, I'll warn you well in advance. I know I didn't really warn you with the 50 Shades of Grey thing. But, yeah. So, thanks to everyone for putting up with me. Again, one more time, don't read the book. I've already done it for you. Read the comments. If you want to know how bad the book is, go on. I haven't read a lot of the comments on Amazon. I know that about half of them are 5 stars and a little over half of them are 1 stars. So that should give you a good example. I was reading the reviews on Wikipedia. Most of the people that were commenting were saying, "Oh, these are horrible books." And so yeah, I've done the work. Now you guys can just move on. And if you see the book in the store, do not open it. Don't open it. Otherwise, you're going to see the word butt plug. You're going to want to check it out for yourself. Not that I'm into butt plugs, of course, no mind you. But any book that prints the word butt plug and sells over 1 million copies, more than the Harry Potter series combined, apparently. Any book that does that will suck you in, as it did me. And here I am, alive and barely well. I think I've lost about how many pounds since I started, but that's on another topic. Actually, it isn't, but whatever. Just trying to make you laugh. Ha ha ha! You had to sit through this book just along with me, and if you didn't, well, you're smarter than I am. Right, that's it. I'm done here. That's all I've had to. That's all I have to say about 50 Shades of Grey. Thank you for watching. If you have been, don't read the book. I'm sorry if you have. And until the next time, this is Nate Jackson saying, "Fuck you, Anastasia Steele."